Hey guys, this is Clinton again with Barbecue Pit Stop. I'm really excited about this video today. Today we are going to be cooking ribs. These are a St. Louis spare rib. They're my favorite ribs to cook because they're flat. They cook evenly. There's not a real thick side and a real thin side like there is on baby backs or with that huge arch that's on one side of the baby back. So St. Louis is my preferred rib to cook. We're cooking these for the Super Bowl that's coming up, and today we're gonna do a spicy rib. We're gonna do two spicy ribs actually. It pairs well with the sting of my favorite football team not making it into the Super Bowl yet again this year. So first thing we're gonna do is we're going to flip these things over, and there's a membrane here on the back that we're gonna take off. It's important to be able to take this thing off. The smoke won't penetrate it, the rub won't penetrate it. It never renders down, so it's a good thing to pull off first. So you only need a couple of things in order to get that membrane off. You need a paper towel and a little butter knife. You go about 2 or 3 ribs in, and then you just kind of lift up with that butter knife, and you get it just enough so you can put your thumb underneath, and then you use the paper towel. That'll help you get a better grip on it, and then you just start ripping. It all comes off in one piece. Looks like my membrane ripped a little bit on one side, so we'll do it again. These membranes should not be too difficult to get off, but as you see, I use this butter knife one more time. It allows me to get the finger underneath it. And you just keep going with this until you get all of that membrane off. It doesn't take long, it's not too bad. But you want to get it all off of there. What you can't get, just kind of cut. You always have your trusty sharp boning knife with you whenever you're prepping a piece of meat. Again, butter knife underneath. Just go a couple of ribs in. Lift it up just enough so you get a finger underneath it. Grab your paper towel and start working it. Not too bad at all. Clean it up with your boning knife. Whatever you want, you don't need to do much. Back of the ribs, there's not much cleaning to do. Nobody really sees them, nobody really cares. We're just doing this because I'm a little OCD. All right, you flip it over. See if there's any chunks that you need to take off. Doesn't look like it. These are pretty good ribs. These are a butcher block rib, kind of higher end rib than what you're going to get at a normal grocery store. You're going to want to look for these at a butcher shop. And then you go on to the fun part, that's seasoning it. Today we're going to do 2 different rubs. The first one we're going to do is Simply Marvelous Spicy Apple. People tend to run away from a little bit of kick. This just has a little bite. It's sweet with just a little bite to it. Now this back side of the rib, you don't need to go too heavy, just enough to get some flavor on it, a little bit of caramelization when you're cooking. A lot of people use bonders. If you want to, you can. I'm not a big fan of them, just kind of press it in. You don't need to do much. And on the other one, we're gonna use Chipotle Mango by You're Behind Barbecue. Now this one has a real good kick to it. We like this one a lot. Gives you a little fruit flavor with that mango, but it's got a lot of kick with that Chipotle. You don't want to spread these flavors around. So I'm keeping my hand up so it doesn't fly all over the place. There you go, just like the other one. A little bit on the back, and then you flip them both over. You season the front. Now this meat side, you want to go about twice as heavy as you did on the bone side. Just an even coat across, but about twice as much as you did on the bone side. One thing I love about barbecue is you mess up one little spot, it's very easy to go back and fix it. Just throw a little bit more rub on there. That looks pretty good to me. All right, and then the other one. This has some good brown sugar in it. These chunks that are in it gives you just the right amount of kick. Kids can still have it. They won't complain about it, but you'll feel a little itch in the back of your throat. That's what we're looking for. All right, we're gonna let these sit here for about 20 minutes or so. Let them start sweating. We're gonna go get the smoker started. And in about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, we're gonna throw them on the smoker and we're gonna show you the 90 and 90 method. Well, these ribs have been sitting here for about 30 minutes. We got the smoker up to 275 degrees. We're using the new Traeger Ironwood Xl. This is the new one that just barely came out. We're gonna cook these ribs at 275 degrees, bone side down for 90 minutes. That's an hour and a half. We're just gonna throw these right on the smoker. Now, these are looking good. Throw them straight in. One good thing about this new Ironwood is that it does not matter where you put the meat, because the entire cooking grate is going to be the same temperature all the way across. Now we're gonna shut this lid and we're gonna let it cook for 90 minutes, an hour and a half. We're not gonna look at it, we're not gonna spritz it, we're going to do nothing but let it cook. All right, it's been about 90 minutes. We're gonna check these ribs, but first we're going to build our wrap. We're gonna start off with just a little bit of brown sugar, and when I say a little bit, pretty good handful. And it's gonna be about the size of the rack of ribs. Kind of spread it out. I may have put a little too much on this, but that'll be all right. And then we're gonna put some cubes of butter on this. It's gonna be about half a stick of butter. I'm just gonna kind of spread them out a little bit so they'll melt, stick into my glove. There, that looks good. Maybe another one here for kicks and giggles. Since we're making these ribs spicy, we're gonna use some of this AR Southern, a spicy honey. This one's, they're more mild since we used a real spicy rub on there. And you just go like mustard on a hot dog. There's nothing really to measure out. That looks good to me. And the first one we're gonna wrap, ooh, these are looking good, is going to be this mango chipotle. It's looking good. The bottom's just barely starting to burn with that sugar that's on it. And then we'll just flip it over. Go meat side down. Grab this honey. We'll do just another little line of honey here on the back. Again, like mustard on a hot dog. There we go. That looks good to me. And we're gonna wrap this up. We're not gonna do a real, real difficult, elaborate wrap. Just fold up one side. We wanna fold this back just a little bit so we have access to check the temperature on these ribs right at the end. Then we'll just fold one side in, the other side in, close it off, and that's our wrap. We'll do that one more time. Put it right back on. We'll do it one more time for this other one. Again, this is the spicy apple. It's just barely starting to burn on the bottom from the sugar. That's right when we want to wrap it. And just one more little quick layer of honey on the back. No measuring, just whatever feels right to you. You can do a little bit more if you like it sweeter. You can do a little bit less. And again, wrap up the bottom. One side, the next side, and we're gonna leave them in for an additional 90 minutes, this time bone side up. All right, it's been our second 90 minutes. These ribs have been on the smoker now for just over 3 hours. It's time we pulled them off, we let them rest. Now it's time to slice into them, see how they taste. We're gonna start with the mango chipotle. Oh, that's looking good. What you wanna see is you want some of this juice down here, but you don't want this juice to be black. If it's black and thick and tarry, you've overcooked them and they're burnt. Oh, look at that, that's looking fantastic. All right, we're just gonna cut one rib out of the middle here. You're gonna cut right along with the bone. There we go. See what that looks like. We're gonna cut this one out real quick. Look at that. Look at that. Bone slides right out. Perfect. You got some smoke ring on it. You got some flavor on this. Let's bite into this thing, see how it tastes. Very hot. I only let it rest for about 15 minutes. So they're still pretty piping hot. That's a good tasting rib. Ooh, it's got some heat in it. Just what we're looking for. All right, let's try the other one real quick so we can see what they both look like. This one's a little bit darker. Has a little bit more sugar in it, but you'll still see that juice is still pretty bright. This backside, oh, this is looking really good. This one we're gonna tip up, cut right alongside that bone. See how that bone curves? Get over here, cut that side real quick. Ooh, it's got a little smoke ring in there. Got a little bit of sweetness. All right, let's try this one out real fast. Pulls cleanly off the bone, exactly what you're looking at. Has a little tug on it. These are some dang good ribs. They're gonna be the hit of your Super Bowl party.